This is the Padua Podcast Network.
And that's why people like to drive fancy cars that have that brand name on them, wear expensive clothes that have the label on them. These things that indicate status that are not based necessarily in a real sort of status or accomplishment. Running a Fever episode number 152, Seratonin, the Bling drug. Welcome to Running Fever. My name's Michael Davis. Loving life, living long, and heading toward that happy, healthy, active life right up to the very end. It's a beautiful day here. Not just saying that. Not that I ever do, but the sun's shining, it's cool. I've got shade in and out here. Fixing to go into kind of a sunny part of the trail. But it's great. It's very late in April. It's the last week of April. Temperature has been a little erratic as the weather is spring is trying to rustle its way into the stream of life here. Little diet department update. Had a visit from my mother and father this last couple of weeks ago, a little more than a week ago actually. And my mother, who is an excellent gardener, despite living in the city for years, she's produced some delicious fresh vegetables from a backyard planter that she's maintained. And if you were with me last summer, you know I was growing some fresh herbs and peppers and really enjoyed that. There's nothing like fresh basil that you just picked off a plant minutes before you put it in whatever dish you're preparing. It's a big difference. It's a big difference, even if what you're getting is fresh and organic and all that. The fact that it's had to travel and disconnected from its life force for so long means it's depleted. It's depleted of nutrients. As I'm working my way up this, it's probably the biggest hill on this course, leading up to the old stomping grounds by the aquatic center parking lot. As it's being shipped to you, it's losing all those nutrients that it had when it's right off the plant. And according to Tom Brady, it might have been, frozen and thawed several times on its way to your grocery store. So I planted more basil and oregano and a couple of flowers just for good looks, and I'm sure there's other benefits. Actually, I have a plant in my house now, and I'm going to have an episode about the benefits of plants, the health benefits of plants. A lot of cool, informative episodes coming up. Don't miss any of them. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast application. But this year I've added a little more serious vegetable. I got what's called a patio tomato plant. It's just a smaller tomato plant that you can grow in a pot. And already smells amazing. And when I touch it, my hands have this strong tomato smell for a while after, I guess, until I wash them. But I can already tell, it's already giving me that benefit of pleasure, sensual enjoyment there. But looking forward to it producing tomatoes and having fresh tomatoes, because our store-bought tomatoes, of course, are designed to travel long distances, and there's a trade-off for that. So So I'm going to have hopefully a pretty good garden, and also I'm starting earlier this year, so I should have more. I've got a serrano pepper plant and a jalapeno pepper plant, and I get that good endorphin rush. Back to episode 150, I mentioned that. Not too crowded here on Sunday morning, but I've seen plenty of people. Joggers, walkers, dog walkers, cyclists. And the birds are out in full force and everything is turning green. Really noticed that last week when I was at the state park, Mount Nebo State Park, which you'll see in a video in a future episode. Got to be sure to go to YouTube and check out the videos that I have there, because some of them are pretty amazing. So this is, we're talking about serotonin today, which I call the Bling drug. And I'm going in this series, this is the third in the series of detailed description and detailed information about 5 different brain chemicals that I discussed in episode 139, inspired by the Simon Sinek TED Talk, which is linked to in the show notes at runningfever.com/152. A summary of what we already knew from that episode, just briefly, it's what some call serotonin, is what some call the leadership chemical. It's associated with pride, status, and recognition. So that's why we have award ceremonies, graduations, things like that. It increases confidence, and at graduation, for example, not only the person graduating gets that hit of serotonin, but the parents watching get that also from their pride. And it makes us live to help others, because we get that reward when we do those good things. And you can trick it. You don't have to do good things to get the serotonin hit. And that's why people like to drive fancy cars that have that brand name on them, wear expensive clothes that have the label on them. These things that indicate status, that are not based necessarily in a real sort of status or accomplishment. So, instead of doing something good, you can just go out and buy something and get a similar kind of hit. And one example was, why this happened. Why do we have this, right? If you have a group of people, right, trying to survive, and this is a key point about humans, is we do it together. That strongest member of the group, when the food comes, right, is always going to be able to get it, because he can fight off everybody else and just grab it for himself. But what happens when he's trying to sleep at night and the wild animal shows up that could kill him? Are you going to wake that guy up? Or are you just going to kind of sit in the bushes and let him get eaten? Because he wouldn't let you eat earlier and enjoy the irony, the caveman irony there. No, of course not. You're going to wake him up because he did let you eat. He ate last, and that builds that trust. So he can trust you to keep watch. And you're also keeping watch because you want him to go kill that animal, because he's strong. And you want him to take that on. You don't want to take it on yourself. So this is good for our mutual benefit. Anyway, I went into that in episode 139, which is very interesting. I would definitely recommend you go back and check that out. And check out the TED Talk also. Very interesting. He's an amazing speaker, Simon Sinek. So this is one of those drugs that it's, based on actually doing stuff. And this whole series, of course, I've always had a how you get the drug section. So that's what this is. Number one, think about happy times. They did studies where they had people, they measured serotonin levels, and they had people think about good times and bad times. And when you're thinking about the good times, that serotonin level increases. Number two, bright light. We already know that this, for a long time, has been a treatment for depression. And I can't remember what it's called offhand, but seasonal affective disorder. That's what it's called. Seasonal affective disorder, where you're sad in the wintertime, basically. Bright light has been a treatment for that. Increases serotonin levels. Number three, exercise. Well, this is kind of a common factor. Must mean that we're really meant to exercise, I think. Must mean that it's important for us to get exercise, and activity is an important thing, which we already know. I mean, activity is one of the main things that makes you live longer. If you're older, inactivity causes problems and strength problems. So definitely exercise is a good thing, okay? It's just showing up all over the place, all the benefits of it. Don't even think about it, just go exercise. Number four, purified tryptophan. All right, I need to spend a little bit of time on tryptophan because the first thing I thought of was turkey, right? Thanksgiving turkey, everybody says, well, it's the tryptophan in the turkey that makes you want to go to sleep. That's a myth, apparently. The information that I was gathering for this episode says that it's a myth. You don't get that effect from the kind of tryptophan that you can get from turkey. It is possible to get tryptophan, and actually our bodies don't make it and we need it. So we do get it from outside sources, and you can get purified tryptophan as a supplement. You can just go buy it in the grocery store, I believe. Definitely you can buy it someplace. Studies have been done on L-tryptophan as a supplement and have shown that it may be effective in treating sleep disorders, seasonal affective disorder, sleep apnea, anxiety, and depression. So again, consult your doctor, or at the very least, go read the actual study. Take the time to do that. Your health is very important. Now, I'm seeing L in front of a lot of these, and I'm taking L-arginine, and you see these in front of amino acids. And what they mean is, you would think if it's presented as an amino acid and not a protein, that it's actually not a protein, but the L indicates that it's free. It's a free amino acid that is not bound to a protein. So that's the chemical reason why they use that L. That's what the L means. So L-tryptophan, L-arginine. That's the reason they use the L. It has to be free in order to be available for the body to use it in the ways that we're talking about as a precursor to these proteins. And so there you go. So, as I've talked about, one of the best and most authentic ways that I can think of to get your serotonin flowing is to help others. And I'm going to say once again, my purpose is not to say go out and ramp up all your brain chemicals. get all you can, do all this, take all these tricks that I'm telling you, but to help understand how our body works so we can live healthier, happier, more active life right up to the very end. So instead of going and buying a bottle of L-tryptophan and start taking it, go out and help somebody. Go volunteer at a food bank or something else that you find enjoyable and helpful, and you will get the chemical rewards for doing that. So, hope you found this helpful in improving your life, especially physically. And that's what running fever is all about, which you know if you already have the fever. So go ahead and keep that if you do. And if you don't have it, go out and get it. I'll talk to you next time on Running Fever.